Hi, I'm Janine Sarlin, author of Princess Tea, Parties and Treats for Little Girls. And today I'm going to show you how to make magic fairy dusted brownies. Now this recipe comes from my Aunt Ruby, and the recipe is probably 125 years old. But it's really good, and the brownies aren't that old though. Don't mistake about it. Let me show you what you're going to need, and you should assemble this before you bake your brownies. You'll need 2 sticks of unsalted butter. You're going to add 2 cups of sugar to it and 1/4 cup of unsweetened cocoa. Then we're going to have 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, some salt, and some organic vanilla, and 4 eggs. Plus, you need to have a jelly roll pan, an 11 by 17 jelly roll pan. And you're going to grease it with Crisco or Pam, and then you're going to dust it with flour. So this is all ready. Now, you also need to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Okay, now first thing we're going to do is melt our 2 sticks of butter. I'm going to put it in the microwave oven. Set that in the microwave oven, and we're going to melt this. This might take about 40 seconds, about 30 to 40 seconds. And into the butter, the melted butter, I'm going to pour the sugar, and I'm going to actually whisk it in. So now we're going to stir this up to dissolve the sugar in the melted butter. And now I'm going to make a chocolate. I'm going to add 1/4 cup of unsweetened cocoa. Just stir that all together. And we're going to let that come to room temperature. And to this, I'm going to add a teaspoon of vanilla. I'm going to add it right to the chocolate mixture. And just stir that in with a little wire whisk. Next, we're going to take the 4 eggs, dump them into the mixing bowl. Then I'm going to take my wire whisk, and I'm going to mix them up until they're slightly frothy, not too frothy. Okay, so now that's all ready. Here's how we're going to finish this off. I'm going to add the flour and the salt. A pinch of salt, maybe 2. Next, we're going to add our chocolate. And we're going to put it into the mixture. And we're just going to stir this in. And I'm going to use a rubber scraper to get all that out. We don't want to miss any of this chocolate, do we? But now I'm just going to finish stirring this and mixing it up. Now what I'm going to do is take my wire whip, kind of let it go through, and then I'm going to take an old-fashioned, guess what? A wooden spoon. This is what Aunt Ruby always used to mix her brownies, so I'm using this in her honor. So now I'm going to mix this up with a wooden spoon. Okay, actually, Ruby's recipe, the original recipe, says to beat it for 30 strokes or no more than 50. I don't think it will matter that much, but you don't want to overbeat it. We don't want to get big bubbles in it. That's the point. So we're going to stir this up until it's well mixed. Okay, this is all mixed now. And then I'm going to pour it into my prepared pan. Pour them into the pan. And there's a little speck here and there. It doesn't look perfect. It's okay. It's the way it's supposed to be. I already have my oven preheated at 350 degrees. These are going to bake about 20 to 25 minutes. Now, it's not important that the toothpick inserted to the center comes out clean to test and see if it's done. Just trust me, it's going to be 20 to 25 minutes. And the top now looks shiny, right? It looks shiny on top. When it looks dull and is firm around the edges, it will be done. Okay, so now we're ready to go in the oven. The oven, as I said before, is 350 degrees, preheated already, so now I'm going to take it over to the oven. I'm going to set the timer, 25 minutes. We'll come back in 25 minutes and check and see if they're done. Here they are. And remember when I said that they will look dull on top? There it is. Exactly 25 minutes. Here's the magic brownies. All right, now I'm going to put it on the rack. Now the real magic part is the powdered sugar. This is magical fairy dusted brownies. So we've got a strainer, a regular strainer, powdered sugar, that's the magic. What you do is just sprinkle on the top of the brownies. You're gonna dust them twice if you want, or you can do it once. You can put as much fairy dust on as you want, but a little bit works, but a lot works a lot more. We've got the brownies dusted. I'm gonna take a pizza cutter, cut it in half, then I'm gonna cut it into quarters. And see how nice the pizza cutter makes? Very easy. Now I'm gonna cut them into tiny bite size. Now if you have crunchy edges, you can just go along the edge like this and just cut off the ends. And that's for you. Now I'm gonna turn the pan around. Once again, I'm gonna go down the center with my pizza cutter. And then I'm gonna go in half, or maybe this time I think I'll go thirds. Okay, now I'm gonna show you what they look like when they're finished. These are magic fairy dusted brownies. So what you do is you close your eyes and you make a wish. And then you pick up a brownie and you pop it in your mouth and your wishes come true. And I hope for all your wishes to come true with these magic fairy dusted brownies.